What is up, everyone? Corn O'Keefe back yet again, and as the title implies, I'm bringing you another collab death battle prediction, folks. We have Captain Forrest, aka Forrest Green, back on the channel. Say what's up, dude.
Hey guys, Captain Forrest here.
We got CDH, the Beast Sage, back again.
What's up, everyone?
We got Infinite, the Jackal King.
What's up, everyone? Infinite Jackman King here, and thank you for having me here, man.
Right on, right on. And we even have Lord Kira himself.
What's up?
And yeah, as the title implies, we're bringing you a collab death battle prediction on the next death battle. Geese from the King of Fighters versus Heihachi from Tekken. Starting off, CDH is going to go over Geese and what this badass is all about. Forrest to come in, talk about the AP of Heihachi. I'll talk about the speed of Heihachi. Forrest to come back in again, give his overall thoughts, and the rest of us to do the same. So without further ado, CDH, get down to business.
Alright, so starting off, as you all know, Howard is scale like above, some of the characters that in original Zero's canon or reflected it and stuff. And this was calced to like Large Continental, which is a high end, and you could, there is, many characters do in the KOF series do scale off each other. So it would for Geese to be like around here if you want to go a little lower than Large Continental. Verse does perform this feat, where he destroys the whole stadium, which is like calc to be like island level, large island level, right? As for the speed of Geese, as I said, characters like Takuma, Bao, Chang, and Choi like were able to think like the Zero Cannon, and Takuma reflected it, which is calc to be like relativistic. And as for Geese's powers and abilities, he does have chi manipulation, like his double Rapukin and Rapukins. His Agent Storm, which is all chi attacks related and stuff. It's all his powers and stuff. He knows the martial art called Aki Jujitsu, which is this martial art, and he focuses around like speed, mobility, and like out predicting your opponent, which is Geese's main style, like out predicting his opponents and reads on them. Which does have a little precog. I don't know if Death Battle gonna give him this, but Geese does have a form called Nightmare Geese, which is like a stronger version of Geese, and this Geese, like the KOF New Beginner manga, this Nightmare Geese was the one absorbing versus powers, and absorb versus powers. As for skill, as I mentioned before, Aki Jujitsu, but he has also fought characters and other characters to kill, right? Kyo has fought Rugal. Rugal has mastered every single martial art. So that's all for Geese. So he is a pretty pro.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about Heihachi's AP. In terms of AP, it depends on how you go about it. So I'll explain and work my way up. So there is a city level feat that was performed by one of the weaker models, Gunjack or Jack 3, however you want to go about it. Gunjack was able to block a laser that came from a satellite, which attacked the barrier, Jack's barrier, and Jack tanked it and survived pretty casually. This was calced at city level. I believe in I believe in Tekken 5. There was a bunch of like Jacks that went to like get the drop on like both Kazuya and Heihachi, and this same Heihachi was able to just one shot these stronger models with very casually. Not sure about the quantification, but you can definitely get this very high. You can get this high into like you can even argue this to be in like the high ends of like the very high into city level. Get it to mountain, depending on how you go about calcs. Or you can even argue island. So you can even get like Heihachi to those ranges of AP because he was able to destroy these these stronger versions of these jacks. Now, if you want to talk about like more of his high end stuff, because the weird thing about Tekken, there are some like impressive feats that are performed, but it's just awkward because some of the feats that are performed happen in like non-canon games, like Tekken Tag 1 and 2. But I'll go over them regardless because sometimes Death Battle tends to like mention like random feats. So I'll mention it for just the sake of the video. There is a country level feat or even a multi-continental, if you want to argue it, where Jack 6, he was able to destroy a meteor, which was calced around country level, or multi-continental if you want to get into those in those ranges of AP, which is pretty impressive. Again, Heihachi casually just rips through these upgraded versions of jacks like it's just scrap metal. So even if you want to go off that, you can get him around to to those types of ranges of AP. So from city, mountain, island, country, if you want to go through the high end stuff, or even multi-continental. So that's pretty much it for AP. I'm going to pass over the speed element for Heihachi over to Korin.
All right, so getting into speed. Now, the speed in the Tekken verse, a few feats to go over. So we've seen characters who are, inferior to Heihachi himself easily react to tank shells, right? Slice them in half casually. We've seen characters easily react to bullets and outpace them and dodge them. Heihachi, again, he's superior to these characters. A lot of it. He's actually one of the more like high tier characters in the verse. Not the most powerful, but he's definitely one of the high tiers nonetheless. And he himself even has a direct feat of catching a bullet in his mouth. So right off the bat, casual supersonic speeds, hypersonic speeds. However, Heihachi himself has another direct feat that's pretty impressive in its own right, I must say. And that's him actually reacting to the devil laser that was fired at him. Now, this is impressive because this specific devil laser has been calculated to be over Mach 72,000. And I'll leave a link to the calculation for that down below. But yeah, that essentially puts him around the subrelativistic ranges, possibly relativistic ranges of speed in terms of his reaction time, short burst combat speed. So you can easily see you're dealing with casual bullet time and stuff. Heihachi himself has a direct subrelativistic feat, possibly a little higher, give or take. With that out of the way, I'll let the homie Forrest come back in, give his overall thoughts, how he sees this fight really playing out.
Right. So overall, if we break it down, we look at all the stats and pretty much go off consistency. Right off the bat, he should have higher AP. He should be slightly faster as well, going off the calculations. I really give it more to Geese more than anything. Even if they were relative in speed, I don't think it would matter since Geese has like higher AP in base. And even if you want to use like the high ends, they'd both be relative, like multi-continental. In terms of like techniques, such as skill, Geese should arguably be a lot more skilled than Heihachi. Geese knows a lot of Japanese martial arts. He knows jiu-jitsu, judo. The list goes on. He performs it very well. Heihachi, of course, is skilled in his own right. He knows they can both parry each other. They both can use parries. It's even been shown in the games that characters can parry each other. but still, I still give like the skill edge more to Geese. He has more skill and more options in that element. The biggest problem here for like Heihachi would be range. Heihachi doesn't really use any projectiles. He tends to imbue his punches and attacks with like lightning. So like the demon wing god, I think it's the demon god fist or demon wing god fist, where he ignites his fist in lightning and uppercuts his opponent, or goes for like different types of attacks imbued with lightning. And a lot of his approaches and in character, like what he does a lot in character, it's more like focused on close to hand to hand combat, very close quarters. Geese, he has a lot of range attacks such as double Reppuken. He also has a Raging Storm, so he could just perform an area of effect by slamming the ground with chi, and just completely neg Heihachi and just spam a bunch of key based attacks. So overall, I would give it to Geese. Geese would just pretty much keep Heihachi out with a bunch of key attacks. He'd just spam all of them, because Geese tends to be a bit of a spurg when he fights, especially when he's enjoying it. So he just definitely go for like a straight up like rat tactic, just by like going for like area of effects. And I don't think Heihachi can deal with that. And so overall, I do have to give it. I see Geese winning more often than not. He has more advantages on his end, way more win cons, and going in character, he does start off with his key attacks and then goes into like skill or hand-to-hand combat if need be. So those are my thoughts. I'll leave it to whoever else would like to give their thoughts on who wins.
Yo, Infinite, want to give your thoughts, buddy?
Okay, so for me, I don't know both characters, but from what I heard, this is gonna be. Is it gonna be 3D or 2D?
I'm not sure, actually.
If it's 3D, then that's gonna like it. The research is, you know how Death Battle researcher are, and I do agree like what Force said. So that's my thoughts. I wish I could say more, but there isn't much.
Right on, right on. Kira, any thoughts?
Yeah, so basically everything I heard from Geese and Heihachi, um, from basically from what Forrest and CDH said, and from me listening, it kind of looks like not Heihachi, Geese, should easily take this more often than not, just due to like better skill and having more range of attacks and plus precog as well. And then if Death Battle decides to give him that form, that form that CDH said, then it should be an easy win for Geese. So I'm just gonna say overall, Geese should win. That's just my thoughts.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Oh, and I would like to correct myself. It was actually the Devil Laser that Heihachi dodged, or reacted to, I should say, is actually calculated to be over Mach 17,000. It's almost Mach 18,000, which it is sub-relativistic, almost hitting the relativistic speeds. So my overall thoughts, from what I'm hearing, I pretty much agree with the others, although I can definitely see arguments being made for either side. It really does come down to who you have higher in specific tiers, because obviously there's stuff to get them both in similar tiers, right? But again, from what I'm hearing on the Geese side, it's possible and likely, right, that he is higher in these tiers. So there's that, plus the skill that was brought up. Again, I hope to see both of these characters receive justice at the end of the day. Interesting battle nonetheless. So yeah, pretty much those are my thoughts. Anyone else want to give their thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh,
One more thing.
I,
There is a form that Heihachi does have, but which allows him to go into this like giant golem thing, which is like I think it's the size of a mountain. I don't know if Death Battle will use this. And I don't really think it's like an in-character thing. Like Heihachi does not use that in character. It's not very consistent. But that is just something to just mention. It is a pretty cool thing that Heihachi could use in combat. But again, just going off like in character, more often than not, and more than likely, I don't think it will pretty much matter. I still see Geese still taking victory. But yeah, CDH can give any more thoughts if he has any.
There is like this new form in like in 7 where like lightning empowers him. Like during Kazuya fight against Heihachi, like his willpower alone made him like stand up to Devil Kazuya, right? A lot of people may be like, oh, his willpower, stand up to Geese. And like, yeah, sure, he could, tank a lot of hits, but at the end of the day, right, there's so much Heihachi can tank, right? Right after that, even though he pretty much beat up Kazuya was still left standing, right? And he went to like, hey, what's it's like this Shinrakuma vision. So even with that willpower, he would still be able to like tag him and punishing Geese. There is, some argument. I think what's his face, Ogre in Tekken 7. You can argue that like Ogre does know like every martial art because Heihachi should be relative to guys like Paul and Jin who have fought Ogre, knows these martial arts. But again, he might have a little precog because has this move, like it counters the opponent, but like it's not like counterintuitive as say like Geese style because his whole style of fighting is like countering other people and stuff. So even if you want to give these arguments like want to say in skill they're relative, yeah, that's fine. His willpower really wouldn't matter because Geese would be slightly faster and areas of effect and his attacks would affect Hachi more, even if they don't give Geese his Nightmare form. Um, he is Zord from like verse, and but still have enough to deal with Heihachi. Those are my closing thoughts. I think Geese could take this. You could argue relative stuff, but Geese has more of it than say Heihachi. As I said, the skill might be a little relative. If you want to argue, Ogre knowing every martial art, that's fine. But like Geese has more concrete stuff for him, such. So I think Geese wins. Instinct could give your thoughts or whoever. That's it.
What everybody said. So that's just my thoughts.
Heck yeah. So, with all that being said, that's pretty much everyone's thoughts. Hope y'all enjoyed this video for what it was. Go subscribe to all these badasses. Check out their channels, their content. The boy Instinct just showed up. He just started a new Versus show recently. Go check him out. As always, folks, have a blessed day. Say peace.
¿Dónde estás?
Peace.
Goodbye.